Welcome to E3, Engage and Empower with Empathy, a podcast brought to you by the Empathy Collective, a consulting firm that helps business leaders inspire change, one conversation at a time. We are building a community of like-minded leaders and experts who all share the same passion, taking care of people at work. Whether you are a blue-collar worker or white-collar worker, small business owner or corporate executive, you belong in this community. My guest today, Anastasia Love, journeyed from Russia to the United States to get a fresh start. From being the ugly duckling as a young schoolgirl to surviving an abusive relationship as an adult, she transformed her personal grievances into a platform for supporting single mothers and people struggling with illness and lack of self-confidence. We talk about how she uses hair extensions to heal emotional wounds and how salon professionals are leading the way in creating empathic workplaces where people feel safe, seen, and beautiful. This is E3, Engage and Empower with Empathy. Welcome to the show today, Anastasia. I will admit I'm incredibly excited for this conversation because it's really near and dear to my heart, the type of work that you do. Although I'm not a salon professional myself, I've made a recent discovery just by launching this podcast how critical your work is in creating well-being in our communities and in our societies. So I look forward to shedding light on that and just want to say welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm so honored to be here and share my story and my work story and my personal story on your podcast. I really appreciate it.
I'm glad to have you. So yeah, let's actually talk about your personal story because it's an interesting one. You for the listeners out there, you probably hear a little bit of an accent, a beautiful accent, by the way. You were born and raised in Russia. You moved to the United States not too long ago. What made you decide in your adult life to suddenly leave your home country and come to a foreign land?
First of all, for me, it wasn't a planned decision that I moved to United States. And to be honest, I never dreamed about United States. It was some kind of like running away from my past. I went through really abusive physically and emotionally relationship with my ex-husband. And when my daughter was born, it became like awful dream for me and everything was so crazy and I didn't see any way to keep myself and my daughter safe rather than just move to another country. And this country become United States. And I would say I just packed all my things. I took my 4 years old daughter and suitcase of full of fears and doubts, what I'm doing, is it right or not. I just flew away from Russia. So it was pretty random decision to find the way to start your new life. I didn't know that United States will become my home, my true home. So when I came to United States, it was 14 years ago with my, as I said, 4 years old baby, my daughter. I started my life from scratch and I didn't know English. I didn't have family here. I didn't have any friends or any plans. What should I do or how I gonna live here? So it was just like putting myself into absolutely different scenario of my life because I was so devastated from situation that happened in Russia. I felt really broke and I didn't feel that I own my life anymore. So it was something like losing myself, but because I had daughter, I had this special power to keep myself as possible, to try to make really good decision because when you have children, probably your mind working a little bit differently than when you're alone. So if it's not for me, probably it's gonna be for my daughter. And when I moved to United States, of course, because I didn't speak English, but still I have to find the way to live here and make money. So I started to do cleaning houses, like take another job that I can make money. And I didn't know that I cannot work as a hairstylist here because you have a little bit different system to get cosmetologist license. You have to went to beauty school. You have to go through like whole process. In Russia, we have different system, and in Russia, everything was pretty easy. Of course, I graduated from college there, and I started to work as a hairstylist. But here, no, absolutely different system. So it took me quite some time, like 2-3 years, to figure everything out how I can start to work as a hairstylist. And I went through some changes in my vision of my life, and I'm so thankful to all these years, because these years I tried to find myself again in new country, and I started to meet new people. I started to learn about traditions, about language. I started to learn language, and everything was different. And I spent this time to learn about myself as a person, whom I want to be, how I want to grow, how I want to see my future, what kind of future I want to have for my daughter. So all these years I spent to learn about myself better and to learn what I want to do in my life. And I started to work with clients, with Russian clients, of course, first of all, because I love my work and I cannot be a long time without doing what I like. All this journey, I started to understand that it wasn't just running from my past. It also was like start of new beginnings. So when you ask me if I was running from my past or I just looked for new beginnings, I would say both. So this journey, moving from Russia to United States, led me to open new doors for my future, for my daughter's future. And I started to work with clients, Russian clients, and I started to understand that my profession as a hairstylist is what I will never give up to do. And it's not because I know how to do that perfectly. It's just because it's mean more for me than just doing my job. I found the way why I want to create my studio and my brand. And my brand called Studio Queen Hair. And it's just because I want to see every woman on this planet as a queen. And I know that hair can be first really powerful tool that you can use to open your strength to become something better. It's not that you're going to change your hair and everything will change, but at least it's like first step when you can start your journey to become different person, more confident person. This is how Studio Queen Hair was born, because I always knew that there is something more beautiful for me and for my daughter. And I started to see this vision of creating something beautiful and magical. And it became not my business, it became my mission. So I called Studio Queen Hair not a business, but my mission for all beautiful women on this planet.
I love that, and I think every business should have a mission as noble as yours. I mean, that's what creates a successful business and one that people want to follow and be a part of. I mean, you're essentially starting a movement. I'd like to hear more about your experience in that self-reflection phase that maybe you didn't expect you'd go through once you moved to another country. Were there any surprises that you learned about yourself? I know I learned a lot when I lived in other countries, and I surprised myself as well. And I think you only really uncover those nuggets when you are a foreigner in another country that's not your own. Tell me more about that experience and how that shaped the way you built your business.
I would say there was a lot of surprises, to be honest. So, first of all, I'm so grateful because for whole my life I was considering myself workaholic, and I'm still workaholic. And when I moved to United States, thanks God, I had 2 3 years more quiet time when I had this time to realize who I am. I started to read books. I started to transform myself. I started to find the peace for myself. It was really like magical and hard at the same time moments in my life. But it's hard to say thank you for all situations that I've been through. But after all these years, I would say thanks. Thanks to all situation that I went through all like abusive relationships or moving to United States, like for everything. Because of these things happened in my life, I found the way to not to change myself, to rebuild myself. So it's not just this journey, not just shape me as a person. It's like literally rebuild and retransform myself. I literally like new person right now that I was before, which is I'm so grateful. And when I finally started to work as a hair extension specialist in the United States, I got my license. I learned how to speak English. I know that I make mistakes, but please don't judge me. And and when I started to work with clients, and we're not like regular hair salon where hair extension studio, it's a little bit different. We spend more hours with one client, and we have really specific clients. Yeah, it's not the same clients who just come every month for haircut with whom you spend like 1 hour. We spend every 2 3 4 months, and we spent like 4 8 hours with one client. And in 90% of our clients, when they decide to do extensions, it's not because, oh, I want to be more beautiful. No, of course not. It's only like 10% once they're happy, they have everything in their life, and they want to just be more beautiful. No, 90% of our clients, they going through some emotional things, and it's totally different from case to case. And in my work, I think we don't just do hair, we help this woman to understand how beautiful you can be. And with understanding how beautiful you can be, you can understand how confident you can be, how much strength do you have, how much power do you have inside of you to change the world around you. You don't have to change the whole world. You have to change your inner world, and the world around you will change. And when I started to work with such clients, I started to understand that, oh my God, a lot of people, especially women, they're going through a lot of emotional traumas. And almost every woman that I did consultation, and I love to ask why you decided to do extension, because I want to know the main problem and reason why you decided to do. And sometimes it's much deeper than you can even imagine. And after we finished with hair extensions, I saw a lot of people cry in my chair. And they cry not because they got extension, but because the way how they already started feeling themselves.
Mm.
And sometimes client, they call me after extensions with nice happy faces like, Anastasia, I'm getting married, I found a boyfriend. Yeah, even these emotions, I couldn't even believe, like, come on, we just did extensions. But I literally can change your. I cannot change your life, but I can help you to see different way yourself and change the reality around you, and you can change your life. And yeah, we have some people, they call us and, oh my God, you changed our lives, like I'm getting married or I found a boyfriend. like a lot of different cases. And I started to understand that I live by these emotions. I need this emotion from other people. This is exactly this emotion that my clients gave me after I served them helped me to grow. If I will not get these emotions, I don't know how I'm supposed to grow myself. And this feeling to understand that I'm able to help them. I can help them. And it's more than just work with hair. It's like it's just different emotions. And I always keep saying that hairstylist, it's not just hairstylist. We are a magician and we're an artist. Because hair for me like an art. I think that we create not beautiful style with hair, we create art. Art that can help you to overcome emotional things. And to be honest, I'm so happy to work as a hair extension specialist. And I love my client base. I love all my clients. You know, sometimes I ask them like, why did you choose me? Like it's so interesting because nobody told me, and like 90% of my clients, they told me that because you can give us this feeling that I truly deserve the title of the queen. So I
Mm.
treat every client like a queen. The studio queen hair was open on second floor, and we open only by appointment just because I wanna keep safe each client. I wanna keep the privacy because queen's supposed to be alone. I mean, like she have to spend this time to relax, enjoy this moment. This is what we try to create in Studio Queen Hair: privacy, safety. We try to understand everybody. We try to become more like friends, and the same time you can always come and we know how to listen, we know how to maybe motivate you and lead you. We're gonna do whatever it takes to make you happy and put more motivation and inspiring you that you will change your life through this appointment.
I love that story, and it reminds me of the interview I had with my own hairdresser where she was telling me that if she knew a certain client was coming in who just had a death in the family, for example, she would make sure that that person had a safe space. She would close the door so the next client wouldn't just walk in, because she knew that haircut there would be tears, and she
Yeah.
wanted to give that person, the time and the respect that she deserved or he deserved. So I understand how important that is. It's a very intimate space that you're creating.
I watched this interview with your stylist, and I was so amazed, and like finally somebody started to talk about that. Finally I found my colleague who think the same way like I think about that. It's truly amazing. It's truly amazing that we already started to see hairstylists not like hairstylist but more.
It's so much more, and you may have, since you watched the episode, you may have heard us reference there are entire movements happening in other countries. Maria Alix de Putter, she's based in
Hmm.
Paris, but she started this whole movement in West Africa to train hairdressers to look for signs of anxiety and depression in their clients, because there's such a shortage of therapists and mental health professionals in Africa. So she targeted salon professionals specifically as the perfect candidates for looking out for those signs and warnings, because they're having so many really close, intimate conversations with their hairdresser.
No, I
Um,
think like our modern educational program in beauty schools have to decide right now to add some small 2-3 days small course of basic therapist for stylists, because I think it's really important to know like small basic things about clients like humans.
was this all self-taught? My hairdresser is naturally empathetic. It's just part of her personality. And I think that's why she is part of the same movement that you are. Is this something inherently that's part of you and the journey that you had to go through? So therefore you can more easily put yourself in your client's shoes and be with them during the hard times and the good times? Or is it something that you've had to teach yourself?
I think both ways. First of all, I think it was I had naturally in myself for all time, because even when I was a teenager, I was a child who always tried to help anybody. Like this desire to help other people was always with me, and of course the situation that I went through with my divorce and abusive relationships in my past played like major role in this. And I think because I already was like pretty strong person, I always like to learn more deeply about every situation that's happening in our lives. It doesn't matter bad situation or a good situation. I always will see why it's happening. What should I learn from this situation? Where this situation lead me? Because I truly believe in energy, and I believe that everything that's happening in our lives meant to be in our lives, in bad situation, good situation, doesn't matter. Probably this is how we have to learn and grow, if we're able to learn from this situation. And probably I was lucky that I found a way to learn from all situation in my life. This is probably what led me to understand people more. And for the last 2 years, I spent a lot of time going for conference, workshops, because we live in this world right now that changing so quickly, and you have to be able to move quickly if you want to stay in a trend, I would say. So I spent last year learning about marketing, about sales, but it's all connect. It's all connect with people. And stylist right now is equal like stylist therapist. We have to anyway learn something basic how to connect with people, and probably this is only one of those positions that robots will not take our work. For sure robots can take a lot, but not our work, because they can learn how to do hair, they can learn how to do extensions, not perfectly as a human, but still they can. But this bond and connection between stylist and client, robots will not build, especially in like 5-10 years right now, maybe in the future.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. There are certain things that robots, artificial intelligence can take over and make our lives more efficient. But in the end, we're all humans and we crave human connection. The environment that you create in the salon is one that's just hard to duplicate. It's very unique. It's very personal. I love your mentality of each woman who comes in is a queen, whatever type of royalty she brings to the room that day. And actually, speaking of which, you said your clients have all kinds of stories and reasons why they come in for extensions. Is there a particular story that stands out to you that you feel comfortable sharing?
A lot of people, unfortunately, women, of course, women, they come to me because they don't feel beautiful and confident. And I think this is one of the biggest problem in our society about women, because we have a lot of information on internet, and you know how we can create beautiful pictures, beautiful videos where not like real person, many times. Yeah, so we use like some apps to create us beautiful, but it's all fake, and we have to understand that natural beauty is different that we can see on Instagram or TikTok when scrolling our pages, accounts. And a lot of people, they come to us because they don't feel beautiful and they don't feel confident, and they share that I want to feel myself beautiful. And some of them come from some kind of illness. Some of our clients, they went through healing cancers. We work a lot with such clients who went from cancer and they lost a lot of hair and they want to find themselves again. Percent of our clients, they come with some stories. And it's really triggered me that in our society, women loses their feelings that you're beautiful the way who you are. You can little bit attachment for your beauty, but it's everything inside of you. So we have to work to help you to understand that you're beautiful the way who you are. But yeah, of course, it's happening when you start with your appearance, of course, because you have to see the person in the mirror and you have to feel that, oh my God, no, I'm beautiful. And with this vision of yourself as a beautiful woman, as a queen, you started to gain more confidence. And with this feeling, you can rock the world. This is what we help to achieve to all our clients. And I'm so happy because for me, I work not always as a stylist, but more like stylist equal healer, some kind of healer, because we help them to understand their true beauty.
That's such an important role. You're obviously putting all this emotional effort into every client visit. Let's turn the tables a little bit. How do you take care of yourself after you've spent, 4 hours, 8 hours with two different clients and they just recovered from cancer and there was crying and you're trying to talk them through their journey? How do you take care of yourself, your staff? That's another thing I talked about with my hairdresser is compassion fatigue. She was saying in the evening she goes home and sometimes she just wants silence because she's been
Mhm.
talking all day long, celebrating people's weddings and pregnancies and also crying with them over deaths. So it's like this emotional roller coaster that she goes through throughout the day. So by the end of the day, she just has to sit in silence and breathe. What's your trick? How do you take care of yourself and your staff?
Oh my God, it's so important question. And I would say it was the most hard thing for me. Because you're right that we spent many hours with one client and we are just humans. When you work in beauty industry, and especially when you work with women who went through some emotional traumas, I think it's impossible not to absorb some of their energy during all this appointment period time, like 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. You have to always holding some space inside of you for their tears, for their insecurities, for their hopes, for everything that they want to share with you. You have to hold some open space inside of you. And sometimes, of course, it's hard because you can with first client you can like be happy for their weddings or for pregnancy. You have to cheer them up, but second client came with totally another energy and you have to listen their like maybe sad stories. I realized that I cannot help my team to maintain well-being of their emotional things if I will not help myself first. So as a leader and founder, I have to take care of myself first because to lead people, to help them, I have to be always, in good mood. I have to be always ready to hear them out, not just about clients, about their private life as well. And it's like an airplane. You have to put mask on you first, regardless to help another people. You would not be able to help other people if your mask not on your face. So the same in Studio Queen here. I decided to keep this balance between my work and my private life which is almost impossible because my business life and work life almost equal to my private life. But I still trying to balance these two things. And I teach my staff how to set boundaries, that it's okay to set boundaries between your client, because we are human. We have to joy, we have to laugh, we feel something. And to set boundaries, sometimes it's a good thing to know how to do that, because you cannot take all this energy from your clients and put on your private life. You have to learn how to be kind without losing yourself. You have to learn how to be kind without getting this energy to go inside of you and affect your private life. So it's really important when you work with client and you getting their energy, maybe sometimes to take a break, 5 minutes, maybe just sit in our room, private room, close your eyes, just remove all this energy, go to meet your new client, but you have to remove all this energy. You cannot keep this energy inside of you. Also, I try to do group meetings where we can talk about what we can change, how we work, how we see our future, what project we're gonna do. So it's more like group meeting where we can share our ideas. But also I literally love to do face-to-face meetings with each my staff, because when I have meeting face-to-face, I can learn more about them personally, and they can open to me from a little bit different sides, because we have when we have group meeting, it's almost impossible that you can share something really private that really bother you. But when it's face to face, you can say something. And I usually ask them, how do you feel, how this work with this client went through, what you decide, what bother you, what you feel about that. So I try to learn about my staff the same way that I learn about my clients, because my stylist, my managers are really important for me, and their emotional well-being are important for me as well. And if I will not maintain their emotional level, probably they gonna leave me in like 3 weeks, because it's impossible not to talk about that. We should talk about that. We should share what bothered me, what I feel about that, what I don't feel, what I want to change. I always remind them that if you feel that you're tired, please take few minutes, maybe go outside, breathe, relax. That's okay to tell your client who is gonna spend with you 8 hours, like, can I take a break for coffee? That's okay. You don't have to be like in full attention with your clients if your appointment will be for 8 hours. And we have such clients. We spent long time with them. And I told them, don't be rushed. Take this break. Take 2 breaks if you need. But you have to step back and, just let it go, everything, drink coffee, and go back to your client with new energy. This is how probably you can maintain your personal emotional level, and you can still be really good healer and stylist for your clients. This is how I see work in our studio.
It makes so much sense, and it goes along with everything I've been hearing from leaders across business sectors and industries, is that you as the leader role modeling the behavior you want to see is absolutely critical for not just client happiness, but also employee happiness, because they see in you how they should behave at work. And you're already taking those breaks and giving yourself that time that you need. So just by doing that, you were telling your employees they can do the same and encouraging them to do the same.
I was thinking about that because I had the same situation in my studio, because we're all different, and the way how I talk and how I give advice to my staff work not for everybody. It's almost like you have children in your house. So some of the children will listen to you and they will do exactly what you said to do. But some of them, they will not follow what you're saying. But what they're gonna do, they will watch you, they will see what you're doing, and without saying anything, that they will try to repeat your everything that you're doing. That happened in my studio. And sometimes if some stylists, they don't want to hear me, not because they don't want to hear me, they just different person. For them, maybe it's better to see, not to hear. So you have to, as a leader, you have to be this person who follow their own rules, and you have to show them how you work with your own clients, because I'm still working with my clients. I'm not like bossy who come every morning and just do work that nobody sees. I still working with my clients, and for me it's really important to show my stylists who don't want to hear me, but they watch me and they try to repeat everything that I'm doing with my clients. So it's another way to show some of your stuff how you wanna work in your studio, because not everybody can hear you exactly what you said. They wanna see.
I love that example. It's the first I've heard that one, but so basic. You're adapting to the unique needs of your staff by already understanding who responds to your words and who responds better to your actions. I'm actually going to pay more attention to that as a parent as well, because I definitely see the difference in my two young children. One of them is very responsive to words, and the other one not so much.
But they sees everything.
That's true. Well, this is great. This is such a wonderful way to wrap up the conversation. You're such an incredible leader, Anastasia. You're really
Thank
setting an
you.
example, not just for your staff, but also for the community on the importance of self-care and healing. Thank you for the great work that you do, and thank you for being an inspiring part of my day.
Thank you so much. I really enjoy our conversation, and I hope very soon we will see more beautiful and happy women around the world.
Yes, we gotta keep making queens. If you enjoyed this podcast and would like to hear more, please subscribe wherever you like to listen to podcasts. And if you would like to learn more about the Empathy Collective, check out our website, theempathycollective.com. Life is too short. Let's take care of each other at work so that together we can make this world a better place.